Well, hello there, humans, bees, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and if indeed you're lucky enough to be doing it too. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and this is a video I'd like to entitle Heartbreak or Hero. Well, I just entitle it that. I'd like to title Heartbreak or Hero. We're not out there handing out welfare programs, humans. Oh God, I don't know what rabbit hole I just went down there, but let's move on before anyone notices. This is the 62A, and this is Qasim Sheikh. Now I'm going to show you a few videos here. I'm calling it Heartbreak or Hero because these are literally quite down to the wire Heartbreak or Hero situations. And the first I'm going to show you is from Qasim and Bansku, old friend of the channel, Matthias, who's been on a couple of videos now, sends in some fantastic quality footage, as well as then I'm going to show you another one in keeping with that multiple humans getting a go in the one turn. Qasim Sheikh running the FV215B on Winter Melanovka. Now, I'm just going to talk through exactly what happens in the game, and you guys can figure out whether we got a win on our hands or not. Now, this one's a supremacy game. This is the real problem with Castilla from a supremacy standpoint, or from any standpoint, in fact. You can see that as soon as you're spotted, if you get too aggressive going for shots here, you'll get wrecked, because at the moment there's a Jaegeru over there with an FV4202, which is two tanks that, you know, could probably be best used elsewhere. And there is an awful lot of camping going on. There's still three tanks completely unspotted, not on the map right now at all. And there's two guys there who are basically defending spawn. They are tactically doing nothing. You can see someone has rolled through B, was briefly spotted there, and that means that there's a lot of stuff going on all over the place. So Qasim is probably doing the best he can right here, right now, in this sniper position, overlooking pretty much his entire team. That 4202 is wasting everyone's time. Unfortunately for him, he's in a bad spot, and he's trying to buy his way out of trouble by hiding behind the Jaegeru. I'm a really big, the only reason the strat works where people camp the back line on the northern spawn of Castilla is if people coming from the southern side of the map are lazy and just push, instead of actually focusing in, controlling the territory, trying to get a cap if it's available, if not, backing off, and waiting for these guys to come out. If you do this, if you push into those spawns, you will die. Okay, if you push into those spawns when you've got 3 or 4 TDs, just sitting there, you're going to die. Fortunately for these guys, there was only the one Jaegeru there. Usually you've got like a 183 there, there's a grill sitting on the top, or a bat chat on top of a mountain. It gets very, very nasty. But that's a tough enough tank in and of itself. Even the heat from our good mate Qasim's T62A isn't getting the job done against that very, very low hit point Jaegeru. Only needs one good shot though, and it'll go down. But he just will not go down. Right now, that is the red team's MVP. Ash928 managed to soak up more damage than a professional sponge. Things are turning a little bit grim here though. Qasim is in not the best spot if they push up on him. And 3 heavies, no 4 tanks now, have moved down there. That AMX 5120, he's going to struggle to get the gun up there. They've got oscillating turrets, and they can struggle to get the gun up at the best of times. In this kind of a situation, you can see Qasim is just working the numbers. He has thrown an awful lot of leather for not a huge return yet. He's putting damage in, but it's not the kind of damage you'd hope for after this many rounds. In fact, the team is looking to be in licorice all sorts. 5 versus 3. They have no caps. The supremacy cap counter is ticking away. There are still 2 extra tanks on the red side, and Qasim has got his work cut out to him just to clear this ISA without getting hit point traded to the point where his tank is not really combat effective. Unfortunately, our M46 Patton decided to push up into the other 3 tanks left, and that leaves Qasim in a very, very precarious position here. He has no caps. He has done an awful lot of damage. He is going to clear this IS-8, but then what are you going to do? I mean, realistically, there are 3 tanks coming down the pipe there. There's a T-54. The only thing you can hope to do here, and it's exactly what he does, is to stop the cap and get points back by actually killing tanks on the red team. Big problem with that. The last two tanks left alive are an IS-7 and a Mouse. The T-54 bails out, and the cap counter is just flying along to the point where he quite simply cannot keep up unless he gets that T-54. So that's the heartbreak. The heartbreak of a well-driven T-62 game on a very, very unfriendly supremacy map. Qasim does well, 7,000 damage, top gun, high caliber, all the good bells and whistles, but the team just pushed into what was really a bad situation to push into, and on the other side, folded up like a cheap suit and got pushed on by a whole bunch of heavies. Now here's Bushka doing the business again in the Object 268. He's featured in various forms in his bat chat and all kinds of stuff, but this is the 268 game on mines that I was looking forward to showing all along. In fact, I think it might have been an IS-4 and an RU game that he featured in. Anyway, there's 904 damage. That's more worrying for that Leopard 1 than what games Bushka featured. Mines is a bugger of a map for a TD. You really do have not a lot of choice depending on your spawn. If you go to the back of the spawn around the one cap on the north side, I mean, that's probably your standard play. You could end up in situations where you just don't have shots. If you push this flank and are aggressive and get caught out or shot from the far flank by a 183, etc., then you get screwed. But the red team has actually been spotted up there, and you can see both their TDs are not in position to put shots on Bushka, and Matthias makes the most of that. He bounces a T-57 heavy shot over there, backs off, and he's going to let this IS-8 hang himself, hoist himself by his own petard, as they say in the Gilberts and the Sullivans, and push up on him. Very, very aggressive move there on that T-57 heavy, possibly hoping to catch him on a reload, but things are now getting a little bit grim. There's a 183 there. Now that is a tank that anyone worth their salt will clear at the expense of all others. That IS-8's been waiting to push up. He's only got 5 degrees of gun depression though, so he's got to be very, very aggressive to get that shot off. And Bushka has been purchasing and trading hit points here for quite some time. He's got a lot of damage in, but he's only got 615 hit points left. Now that's 2 shots for that auto loader over there, the T-57 Heavy. It is in fact under 1 shot for the T-110E4, and it's just a couple of good rolls for a bat chat. So the Object 268 is really looking to be in a tough spot. I like what he does here. He pushes up to cover his left flank with the rock, and he still has soft cover there, camouflage that he can use with the right side of his upper glacis. Unfortunately, the rest of the team is not doing so well. We've lost our E5, who was on the top of the mountain, and the 183 at the back has not actually managed to clear anyone from the top. That 5120 who is in between is inexplicably getting absolutely wrecked without the 183 clearing. You can see over the back there, I think that's a T-110E4, which is really, really weird. The 183 finally pushes up, but it's a little bit of too little too late, because that E4 now has a lovely, lovely bit of support from the top of the mountain from the T-57 Heavy, and the Batchat light tank is completely unspotted. There he is, he's just popped. He's getting shots down on the 183 as well. Bushka needs to get a lovely, lovely aim in here and release and get the whole 9 yards done. And unfortunately, as he goes to take that shot, the 57 Heavy drives through, auto aim tracks down with the HE shell, and it derps. That is absolutely brutal. That is not his fault at all. That's just one of the game mechanics. And that 57 Heavy unwittingly saved that Batchat from an absolutely monstrous HE shell on the side. So it's 1v3, but we've seen Bushka pull this kind of stuff off before. Let's see how he goes this time. Needs a lower glacis, and he gets a lower glacis. 1v2. He's a less than average roll, and that was a clutch bounce too, by the way, for that T-110E4. And he just needs to find a little bit of love with that 57 Heavy. A lot of this depends on the Reds. Are they going to be aggressive, or are they going to be passive? They've got nearly 3 minutes left, so you think they could afford to be a little bit passive here and not come a cropper. Bushka really has to push across to them, either on the left or the right. One thing the Object 268 has going for it here is it's an incredibly effective tank in terms of camo, and it's easily fastest on the battlefield right now. Well, there's one of them. We know one is in the cap circle. So this is a fairly good risk to take. In terms of guesses, this is a good guess. One is in the cap circle, one may be on the left, and if he's on the right, he's probably looking shallow around the base of that ridge line just to our left there, and he's not looking high. Bansku's taking that risk and rolling forward. He doesn't have a lot of options. He's got to clear that cap, and if he's going to win the game, he's got to take both tanks out in under 2 minutes. There's time, but time could end up being of the essence if the T110E4 is camping his spawn area around 1 or 2. He just quite simply might run out of the opportunities to get the shots off. Let's watch him as he rolls in to what he knows is a contested cap circle. Well, there's the heavy. So straight away, that heavy's not in the cap circle. He knows the E4 is the other tank in there. He dusts up that heavy. Very, very good use of camo. And then because he was behind the bush when he took the shot, he doesn't get spotted anyway. But he's got to push on this T110E4. And he's hoping to get a first shot off that decides the engagement very, very early in the piece. Doesn't have a choice though. He's got to push. There's the E4. Oh my God. He rolled high. But 689 was a high roll, but just left him 13 hit points short on the win. Excellent work there, Bansku. Loved it. Very, very good. But we've gone from heartbreak to heartbreak again. One more time, please, Mr. Music. To bring us home, I'm going to give my mate Kasim Sheikh another shot at the title. This time he is in the slate grey plate mail of the FV215B. That's the camouflage that you can see there. He's not really wearing plate mail. I guess he kind of is. It's just a very big suit with an engine on the back and a gun at the front. Wasn't so lucky on Castilla in the T62A, but let's see how he rocks and rolls in the 215B. Now, one of the things I really like about the 215B, it is low-key tough to pen. And he's being really aggressive here. IS-8s are featured heavily in this video, and it is no exception. We've got another IS-8 here, and he's managed to peel off 2 quick shots there before he goes into a side scrape. Now, that is not an ideal angle. It is a tough tank to pen, but at the same time, if someone is shooting up at the base of a tank like the 215B, they can get shots straight through that drive wheel, but if they get the side, there is actually a chance that they're not going to get through the side. Well done. The turret's pretty tough on the 215B as well. The real weak spots are either side above the tracks and the rear. And if you can get flat sides, obviously, all day long, it's not that strong. TDs can go through your turret, but most heavy tanks are going to struggle. So they're a tank down, and Kasim is going to push pretty hard down here. It's a fairly mobile tank, but it really makes its money doing the business with DPM. As heavies go, it is as angry a tank as you will find on the 7Cs. Lots and lots of big damage, and has a Hesh round as well. That means it gets a 110mm round that does, I think it's about 550 average alpha damage. It's an absolutely monstrous round. And when you're able to fire a few of those Hesh rounds off in quick succession, you can quite simply tear stuff apart. 4 each, and they drag it back to a 4-on-3. IS-8, you demand, says the T62A. I don't know what that even means. But regardless, he's down there and he's doing the business. We don't know how that went. I'd suggest it went in. What a noob. Mad Max isn't happy with the IS-8. Kasim, though, is just rollicking along fine and dandy. Another shot into the side of the Jaegeru, and he gets a maxed out roll of 500. Is he gonna hit the adrenaline? No. And he gets a good bounce on that very tough turret that people don't give enough credit to, and rolls 394. A little sub roll there, but enough to make it a one shot on the Man Center. What a great name, Man Center. I don't know what that even means. 3-on-3. Kasim is feeling it now, boys and girls. He came short with 7k before. He wants to get the job done. He doesn't care how much it takes this time. Lovely. That little tough turret gives him just enough time while the Jaegeru's aiming in to get that APCR round through the flat part next to the gun mantlet. Jaegeroo and an Object 140 left to go. There's our Yagged Tiger, not a Jaegeroo. My mistake. And you can see the DPM start pouring off this thing in waves. And well, you should, because this tank that's coming over the hill has even more DPM. In fact, that is the current reigning World of Tanks Blitz DPM champion. Heartbreak or Hero. You've seen Heartbreak. Would I do it to you again? He's bounced at 140. There's 2 left though. There'll be no Heartbreak here, boys and girls. This time, Kasim is all Hero as he rocks, rolls, and royally rumbles towards the end of another classic victory in the FV215B. A little bit of a feel-good story there for all you Disney fans at home. 6,351 damage. We got the Radley Walters, the Top Gun, the High Caliber, and the Golden Arches of Mastery Bling. Hats off, Kasim. Very well done. Thank you for bringing home the bacon in that one. It was getting a little bit tight out there. Boys and girls, if you like the channel, please do subscribe. Please do like the videos. Share them around the world. Let the humans know. Let the voices ring out. Make sure that you also stick around for live streams. And even if I'm away on holidays, take part in the chat and the community tab there. It all happens. I'm Bushka on Blitz. You're fantastic. Look after yourselves. And as always, as my mate Maxie says, stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.